Hi, this is Travis from 10 Farms, and I'm down here in the basement because the washing machine quit. This is a 22-year-old Kenmore washing machine, top loader. It's been a great washer, but every once in a while I do have to replace some parts on it to keep it going. I think the motor finally burned up this time, but these old washers are so much better quality than the new ones. I'm going to get the part number off the motor and try and find a new or used motor on eBay for this. I think a lot of the Kenmore parts are made by Whirlpool, which are some good machines. And over the years, I've replaced the couplers, the dog teeth, things like that, just to keep it going. A few years ago, I actually did have to put a new transmission in it because one of the plastic gears in the transmission finally stripped out. It's interesting when you look at those transmissions because every gear is metal but one, so it's obvious which one's going to fail. But you have to get a new transmission instead of a new gear. But I didn't. It wasn't too bad. I think I spent $100 or $150 for it on eBay, and I'm hoping the motor is going to be the same way. While I've got it open here, I just want to show you what this is like. You kind of pop these end pieces off here. You can see them right there. And then there's two screws that go in the bottom of the top here, and then it flips up. And it's going to look a little different now because I actually popped the things off that hold it in. So normally it would flip up like this. Then you can see the wiring for the timer, the water level switch, and the temperature switch, so hot, cold, medium, things like that. But when I opened this up after the motor quit, you could just smell something burning, and you can see the electrical tape on these wires melted. So this thing got really hot in here. You can see some there too. And what I found was the wires to the water level switch were really hot, and then the wires going down to the actual motor were really hot too. So I might have two problems. I'm probably going to replace the water level switch too at the same time. And the camera just keeps going in and out here. Apologize for that. But yeah, I think I've got a bad switch and a bad motor here. Because when I disconnected this line from the water switch, then the water did actually start pouring into the machine again. Of course, it quit working with a full load of laundry in it, so it was already almost full. I had to unplug it to get it to stop. And you want to unplug it anyway when you're working with these things, so you don't get a shock. But I'm going to flip this thing up on its back and get the number off the motor so I can try and find one on eBay. And I'll kind of show you how that looks underneath here. Alright, I've got the washer propped up against the wall here. Got the power disconnected, hot and cold water disconnected, and the drain disconnected. So that way we're not going to have any messes here and it's easier to move around. The reason I prop it up on the wall like that rather than laying it all the way over is it's just much easier to keep it this way than it is to get it all the way on the ground and then stand it back up after I'm done. So I can get up underneath it here and do my work and get the part numbers and such off of it. I'll show you what we've got under here. So there's the motor, which is almost certainly what the problem is based on the wiring getting really hot and nothing running at all other than the timer. The water pump is here mounted to the front of the motor. You can kind of see how it's driven there from that shaft. Pumps the water out the back. You can see the drum all up around there. Here's the transmission, which I replaced a few years ago when a gear went out in it. And then you can see this coupler right between here, between the motor and the transmission. This is a common problem on these, and it's a part that you have to replace every so often. That rubber will wear, and then those two plastic pieces there that stick together with the rubber in the middle will start to spin. So then you'll lose your spin cycle, things like that. Sometimes the agitator dogs up in the agitator will also need replaced. So I replaced those. But this rubber thing I need to replace about every 5 years to keep this thing going. But this time it seems like it is actually the motor. So I just wanted to show you that setup. All the wiring comes down from the timer in the back there. Plugs into the side of the motor right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this motor out and I'm going to get the part number off of it. So that way I can order another motor on eBay. Or somewhere else. But most likely I'll probably find a used one on eBay. I don't know how much they'll be for a new one, to be whether it's worth putting a new one in here. But these old washers are much better than the new ones, so I want to keep this thing going as long as I can. You can kind of make out the part number there. Alright, so I'm going to take this thing out of here and get one ordered.